And so that 99.999% of reality that we're unaware of is.
Hello, and welcome to the Pacific Channel, where you learn about the law of attraction, how to manifest anything you want, meditation, and more. In this video, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks more about what it takes to fully embrace our creator selves so that we can heal anything, manifest anything, or just have a mystical experience. As a side point, Dr. Joe's method isn't the only energy healing method out there. There are many others, but the amazing results that he gets speak for themselves. Blind people seeing, people who had been in wheelchairs for years standing, people curing their cancer, is nothing short of miraculous. So if you've been listening to him and or this channel, you'll know that one of the things that he talks a lot about is that the key is to get to the place where you are relaxed in your heart and aware in your brain. It's about heart and brain coherence. For some reason, when we get the heart and the brain to sync up and vibrate at the same frequency, then we can create whatever we want from the quantum field. But also, you must elevate your emotions to the same vibrational frequency of what you want. So the key point is to feel the feeling of what you want as if it is already here. Feel the feeling of the future that you prefer. Imagine it so clearly that you manifest the actual feeling of having it. When you really get there, when you really get that feeling, then it will feel so good and so real that you won't even really care if you have it or not. But then he goes on to explain that the main problem that we all have as manifestors and creators is doubt. He goes on to explain that what others have said is that sometimes they would meditate 3 times a day to stop the doubt, to get back to that place of believing. And when they did that often, then they had their breakthroughs. Let's listen to Dr. Joe explain all this now.
And we're asking them to bring that possibility into life with their awareness. And it's so important for us to get very clear on what that reality looks like and take time to think about it and answer questions of what would it be like, and switch on the creative center of the brain, the forebrain, that really is the part of the brain that is the creative center, that will in a creative state select networks of neurons and begin to cause them to fire in tandem and in new ways to see a new idea or a new possibility. And we come with that machinery pre-packaged in our nervous system, and we are creators, and that means then when we do that properly, that the idea of what that future could be should actually produce a response in the body if we could make that thought more real than anything else. And if we can feel the feeling of that thought, of that possibility before it happens, it would make sense then that you would fall in love with the event. It makes sense then that you would have to activate your creative center, which is your heart. And if the heart is that frequency of where wholeness and oneness starts, it's where we lay down the animal aspect of ourself and some divine aspect of ourselves. We feel more whole, we feel more connected, we feel closer to oneness, less polarity. It's the union of opposites. It's the heart, right? So the heart then, when it is activated and it's falling in love with that future, there's a strong connection that takes place in that future. And so many people that I talked to in those few months that we were on the road, some of them actually did their meditations for years on end, and they taught me something really so powerful. They said they weren't doing their meditations to heal. They were doing their meditations to continuously, if they had to, 3 times a day, to remove the doubt that they had, that possibility could be a reality for them. And I've listened to this theme, but I heard it on such a deeper level this time during these testimonials, that they were doing their meditations 3 times a day because they understood that if they were doubting in that possibility, then they were at a different energy or different frequency, and they couldn't see that possibility. They were back in their past. We're back in the same emotion, same energy, and that emotion or energy was driven by the thought that it was impossible, and they couldn't connect to it. And they sat back down and they changed their energy, and they kept selecting that potential, and they kept falling in love with that future until they felt like they did believe in that future again, and they got up, and then their job was then to sustain that state and not default back. And the lesson is the process of continuously removing the doubt. And some of them had their moments during a meditation. Some of them had their moments during the coherence healing. Some of them had their moments, I listened, during the walking meditation. It was just their moment. It was just their moment. So then the veil is thinning, and if we perceive 1% of reality, and that's a fact, don't exclude yourself from that equation. That means that there's 99% of you that you don't know about, that you're unaware of. That could be the evolution that moves you into a new future and into a new reality. And the veil thinning in the way that it's thinning is causing people to really begin to be informed about what is possible. We work so hard. I spend time with the scientists to listen to their speculations of what's happening when we see these profound changes. I pay attention to the data that we're collecting around the ability for our community to get together, connect in a field, and begin to change the field of another person at a remote location. And the statistics that we're capturing from our remote coherence healings are definitely showing that it's just not a happenstance or random. There's very strong evidence to suggest that people are healing at a remote location. They're not even in the same room. Now, that is something that some people may think as a possibility, but it's happening now as a reality. So I listen closely to the understanding of how the data that shows that cancer cells somehow, when they're in the presence of advanced meditators' plasma, not just a few of them, but 11 out of 13 of them produce these dramatic changes in all different types of cancer cells. I listen to that because it means then it makes sense why so many people have healed in this work from stage 4 cancer. There's somehow a connection between those worlds. There's also a connection between the microbiome and the data that we're collecting from the microbiome that also suggests that the very microbiome that's correlated with cancer is diminished quite a bit in many subjects that we're studying. And by the same means that any type of treatment that the person has when this one microbiome diminishes, whatever that is, their treatment actually, their ability to heal actually increases. And so I'm paying attention to that because I don't want to forget in this lifetime for us what exactly is possible. And so that 99.999% of reality that we're unaware of is the very fabric of everything that we experience in this three-dimensional world. And the coming of a new consciousness is becoming aware of what's actually possible for us as human beings. I have so much great hope at this point in my life that human beings can actually shine and commune and work together and resolve problems that were created from a more limited level of consciousness. Those of you that are working on changing your health, you should take the time and listen to some of the testimonials that have been just recorded as of late. There's so much truth in what everybody is saying. I never thought, as I said, in my lifetime that I would be witnessing what we are witnessing, both in the science that we are studying and the brain waves and the blood markers and so many other different variables with gene expression in the body, and so many profound and wonderful testimonials that are taking place in our community. My awareness of what's possible is actually inspiring me to see what's actually possible next. So it's happening. You are part of it. Those people who actually do the work, who take the time every single day to be defined by that vision of the future instead of the memories of the past, and continuously keep that future alive in their mind. And those people who actually really make the effort of overcoming those thoughts that say it's impossible, or those behaviors that caused us to return back to the same habits of ourself, and certainly the emotions that are so easy to feel and live by. That restraining of those states is the process of change. That is exactly the importance of it all. And so we have the tools then to think differently, and to act differently, and to feel differently. And it's essential that we continue to be creators. It's essential that we keep being defined by that vision of the future. It's essential for us to share this information with one another. It's essential for us to keep remembering it and stop going unconscious and forgetting that we are greater than we think, and more powerful than we know, and more unlimited than we could ever dream. I am so grateful and so inspired by so many people in this work that are actually becoming the example of it, and it's allowing our consciousness, our collective consciousness, to begin to really change. As that veil thins between worlds, there are so many possibilities that exist for us that are outside of our imagination. I truly think that as the energy of the universe continues to be enhanced, it will endorse however we're being. And if we could use it in a constructive way and practice being relaxed in our hearts and awake in our brain, that seems to be the formula. When we are relaxed in our heart, when we're relaxed and awake, that somehow causes the brain to do really wonderful and magical things. Such an amazing time for us to be alive. The individual in this community represents the whole, and so many individuals in this work that truly are the exemplars, that are the examples of whether they're creating abundance, whether they're creating health, whether they're creating mystical experiences. They seem to want that as a creator more than anything else in their lives. We'll continue to do the research. We'll continue to show you what's possible. You continue to keep your dreams alive, both in your head and your heart. Stay open to those possibilities. Stay open to the research that we are doing. Definitely check it out. And certainly make sure that you stay current with some of the miracles that are.
When Dr. Joe talks about people having their moment, what he means is that with his method of meditating, sometimes you will reach the gamma brainwave state, which is almost like an explosion of energy in the brain and all through the body. So some of his people would have their moment when doing the meditation, others would have their moment while doing the coherence healing, and others would have their moment while doing the walking meditation. It's not something that you can accurately predict as to when it's going to happen. For me personally, though, I really like the Blessings of the Energy Centers meditation. I get goosebumps almost every time I do that meditation. He has several different variations of the Blessings of the Energy Center meditation, and one of them has very inspiring, dramatic music as you move your energy up from the lower energy centers to the top of your head. It's kind of hard at first to hold your breath for as long as you want you to, but you can actually feel the energy move with your awareness as you inhale. It does seem that the more that you practice meditating in this way, that people get better and better results. As he said, advanced meditators' plasma produce dramatic changes in all different types of cancer cells. When he talks about there's somehow a connection between those worlds, he's talking about the quantum world and our 3D reality. When we marry them together, when we merge them, when we interlock them, we can manifest whatever we want, whether that be a healing or abundance. I like how Dr. Joe says that the more that he sees, the more that he believes that even more is possible. It really does seem to be that there truly are no limitations to our power. You are an unlimited, powerful being, and we are just scratching the surface of our true potential. If you like this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And now, if you can, comment below about your experience with meditation. What success have you had so far? Thanks for watching, and have a great day or night.